extraordinary difficult processes, but I'm very happy to say that we addressed these issues and we were able to understand what kind of world they wanted. The main question was, what kind of world do you want? The United Nations should really help to make. Over the next 11 years, from today until 2030, the progress in science, technology, and innovation in our cities will be very essential in delivering on all of the United Nations SDGs, from poverty eradication, food security, sustainable energy, water, sanitation, and beyond. As such, I firmly believe that searching for a new city model is urgent because cities bring so many solutions to help overcome humanity's sustainability crisis. Current urbanization trends are further aggravating the sustainability crisis, which is proceeding rapidly, particularly in Asia, but also here in Europe and elsewhere. I often tell that the mega cities, particularly, the cities like Paris or London and New York, big cities, they are the so-called culprits of many problems which we face, starting from greenhouse gas emissions, even crimes, health issues. Many problems are coming from the cities. More than 100 million people are moving to cities each year, and 400 million people are projected to add to urban populations. According to the United Nations report, 68% of the world's population is slated to live in urban areas by 2050. How can we handle these problems? That's why, again, your role will be essentially important. To cope with these challenges, we must ensure that our future cities are resilient, sustainable, creative, and innovative, and inclusive and equitable. First, as climate change brings dire threats to cities around the world, we must fortify our great cities of today to flourish in the climate realities of tomorrow. Indeed, we need forward thinking, planning, adaptation. In fact, I'm now working as a chairman of the Global Commission on Adaptation, together with Bill Gates and Kristalina Georgieva, who used to be Vice President of the European Union, now currently a CEO of the World Bank. This adaptation is very important. Now we have to use science, engineering, and innovation to make certain that our future cities and their housing are resilient in the face of effects of climate change. This not only includes sea level rise, flooding, extreme heat, and other direct threats, but also expanded levels of hunger, resource depletion, migration, and security concerns stemming from climate change. Second, we need to come together in partnership to think big, plan ambitiously, and nurture creative urban innovation in the digital area. We need sort of new civilization, creative cities, where data, information, and knowledge sharing lead to the equitable dissemination of essential services, and where new technologies can bring inclusive benefits during the fourth industrial revolution. There will have to be a serious innovative development as the fourth industrial revolution has already started. Leaders from the real estate industry like yourselves, investors and fund managers like yourself, as well as other stakeholders from the private sector, have a prominent and essential role to play in this regard. Third, it is not enough for cities to be smart. There are many words about when we talk about cities: smart cities, civilized cities, sustainable cities. It's not enough just to be smart. If they only cater to affluent professionals or young people or those who are able-bodied, rather, future cities must be underpinned by inclusivity for all. It should be planned, designed, and managed for inclusivity for all the people, young and old, men and women, rich and poor, citizens and migrants. Policymakers and other key stakeholders like yourselves should use the 2030 Agenda and its Sustainable Development Goals, 17 goals, and the Paris Climate Change Agreement, the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction, and the New Urban Agenda to anchor our future cities and housing with guiding sustainability. In this regard, I'd like to remind you that not many people understand this Sendai Framework. This was adopted in March in 2015. There were 4 very important agreements which the United Nations made, starting from Sendai Agreement for disaster risk reduction. Then comes the Sustainable Development Goals in September. Then comes, before that, the financial support, which was adopted in Addis Ababa. Then lastly, Paris Climate Change Agreement. Those are 4 very important roadmaps and visions which the United Nations has presented to the world in 2015. So all these 4 frameworks should go together, hand in hand. If we do not manage disaster risk reduction, what's the use of building great cities? They will be just swept away by unplanned against the climate phenomena. Therefore, building resilient, sustainable cities for the next civilization, as urbanization is rapidly accelerating, is not a project for future anymore. It is a project for today. In this context, I appeal to you to combine your visions, strength, and resources, and creative innovation to prioritize sustainability and climate adaptation in the housing and cities of tomorrow. The blueprint that you design might just be one of our best hopes to save our vulnerable planet. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, climate change is creating the dire risks and instability. We must increase our collective efforts to protect ourselves, our communities, and our world from the existential threat that this will bring. the climate change, if we do not address this one properly, will devastate all what you have made, what you are going to make. The clock is, however, ticking, counting down very fast. We cannot just wait for the nature to follow us. The nature goes its own way. That's why it's only nature that our human being should follow what the natures are giving us alarm bells. We cannot negotiate with the nature. As I said, nature goes its own way. We have to harmoniously live with our nature. From record-breaking heat waves and wildfires, which we have seen, richest country in the United States, you have seen all this California fire and hurricanes in Florida, Texas. Climate change is no longer a debate. It's a fact.